Alright, and welcome back everyone. It's David, aka Faramir 4731. I'm bringing you a 2v2 match on the Homestead map, and I'm playing with somebody I don't know versus one player I do know, and that would be Amnarok, and he's going to be playing as America, and another player I don't know, which is Sweden. I don't know that player as well. So basically, the rules in this match were 5 lights, no art, and I've just run up and I've thrown my stakes in a couple places that are kind of inconspicuous or in choke points, and then I'm going to be rolling all my lights over here, or 3 of my lights over here to the flank, as I've only bought 3. I've got one that's going to be covering over here, as my ally was all bunched up kind of in his center. So I wasn't sure how much support I was going to get from him. So what I wanted to do was get myself into a position where I could push this corner, and then if worst case came, I could defend this area right here after taking these spots here. So you can see I got 3 dragoons facing me and a couple units hidden in the trees. I've got 2 cheval hidden in the trees there. I've got 2 on this flank, and I've got my general, and I've got 3 lines holding this flank where I have all 4 of my bulklies over here. I've got a garde du corps and 2 chasseurs cheval in the tree line here. So you can see I've got my lights rolling to this flank, and I'm going to be bringing 2 of my other lights over here to hold this point here. So now you can see the Swedish player is going to be coming at me with all the cav that he brought, which is quite a bit, and he does come right over this angle of my stake line, but he doesn't hit it. So I'm going to be getting the full brunt of his diamond formations with my lights right here, and I'm going to be getting heavily assaulted by the American cav as well. So I've got one of my cav tagged up in melee, and I'm going to be pushing my other line in, and you can see all the massive amount of guys coming in here, and I do start getting a little kills from my stakes. My lights are already starting to get depleted, and I do bring 2 of my other cav over to support. So yeah, I'm heavily involved on this fight. So I've got a kind of stall over here. My light has already broken, and now I have formed up squares. He's got these Hakapika coming around, and over here you can see that my ally does come over to provide some assistance with his lifeguards. And the American cav is pushed out, and he's trying to envelop with the Swedish cav, and you can see I'm going to start rolling my 2 hidden cav units out of the trees, so that's going to be a little surprise for him. I'm moving my general to a safer spot, and I've got my garde du corps that's going to come into play. And over here you can see that my cav is pursuing him as he flees, and then also the lifeguards of the British are going to come into play here. So you can see in this big amount of mess here, he was trying to pull some of his cav through where my squares were, so I plugged him in and kept him stationary by throwing these 2 cav here into the fight, and I've got my lights shooting into the mess. So here comes his cav. He probably, I don't know if he saw my garde du corps, but I've got my garde du corps out now, and you can see I've got all these Swedish cav right here tied up with these 2 units. So yeah, and now I've got a shot in on the back on him, and a back charge with my garde du corps, and these lifeguard are making short work of this cav with the assistance of my chasseurs cheval. So now the American lines are starting to come in to play. As you can see there, he's got legions of the United States coming up, and He's got a 1st Delaware and a guard coming up over the hill, so I'm under incredible pressure here. I'm just holding all these units still the best I can with the 3 units I have here, as I did move one of my Bulkleys over to help take out these light dragoons that had squeezed through. So now, with all what's happening and all the microing I'm doing over here with this cav fight, you can see I'm trying to break these 3 cav units over here, so I'm forced to micro a lot over here and over here, and it helps me to neglect this side. So you can see over here my lights here are going to get shot up pretty bad by these cav, but I do get a volley on him, taking him down. Now I do see what happened, and I am going to pull him out, and now his long range is going to start shooting up my Bulkleys, so I've got to do something about that. So it's time to start rolling my cav, which has just wrapped up the Swedish cav, and on the back of my left, and now I'm going to have to start pushing as I want to stay in this match. So over here you can see the Garde du Corps have come in, and they have hit these Hakapita, Piglola, however you say it, in the back. So yeah, that's not going to be faring well for them, but these U.S. Maryland and these other units are going to be coming in now and surrounding this big mass, and so I've got my line here. I'm going to push in, and then I'm going to form a square to hold them back, while as here you can see I have pushed my lines in to force him to move back these legions, and I'm going to follow it up with a cav charge. Unfortunately, my guys have been in such a fight. On here it's shown fresh, but on there you can see they're running, and they aren't really running too fast, and these are pretty fast cav. So I remember in the game them being exhausted from all the fighting and pushing that I had going on. So right now I'm just I've got them in melee right now, the Legion with this Bulkley, and then I've got these other 2 Bulkleys just continuing to push, and I've got these lights here just trying to provide some support and fire, but Amnarok does have this guard unit shooting down on me pretty wisely. And now the British Light Dragoons are coming up to help, as well as the remainder of the British Army. So we have now routed out all the Swedish player, so he is pretty much done at this point, and these guards are starting to come in and fire from the British player at this point. So yeah, what a mess. So now my lights are going to start laying down some fire, and unfortunately I'm going to lose one of them before I get to reallocate them. Okay, so down here you can see his cav is trying to push away, so I'm just going to continue to try to push with my cav and try to keep these Legion of the United States off my tail. You can see the British players help mop up pretty effectively the remainder of the American lines over here. So we just have these guards that are tied up with the 2 or 3 lines that I had over here. And I've got this line of Bulkleys over here tagging up these American lines right here to keep them in place while these lights are shooting into them. So we've got these other cav units over here, and they're going to start getting into the fray in just a moment. So I did lose this cav here to his, but yeah, so I'm gonna, I believe, fall back a little bit here just to get regrouped, but I do have this Bulkley still charging into this unit of Legion, but I didn't realize that it was just one guy right here that's not going to die, that's in the fight. So I stop and I do get a pretty good volley off on this cav. He does have this first Delaware squared up, but now I've got my lines formed up and they're all going to be providing volleys into him. And here come the light dragoons of the British to help on my push. It's giving them the bayonet. See these Legion. Darn sweet ladies. Just chilling out. They kind of don't have, they kind of look, their faces do. Okay, here comes an American cab trying to shoot me up. Gun. They do stop me for a second and delay me from getting into this Legion, but I'm going to try and push through that. You can see it's melee madness right now in there, but all the while I've got my units coming up and I'm going to form square. Final stand of the American player on the hill with his marksman. You gotta love Americans uniforms. I know every YouTuber that does this says that, but they do have some pretty great uniforms. Okay, and meanwhile over here my lines have gotten into his Legion, which at this point he's pretty much gave up. So okay, thanks again everyone, and don't forget to leave a like and please subscribe, as it does help the channel and it helps give you updates for when we have new videos coming out, which we do have a bunch coming up. Thanks again everyone.